Hi everybody, we record this episode just after the results show on the Sunday night, and I was finishing editing it just as Rebecca Humphries' statement dropped on Monday night. I haven't taken anything out of the episode. We don't talk about any of the unpleasant business, but I worry that you might find it all a bit too light-hearted given what's come out. So I'm just letting you know that this was all recorded in blissful ignorance of what we now know. It's moving. The smoke machine is cranked up full, the bright yellow body paint is out, and we've covered a Volvo in cardboard so it looks somewhat like a DeLorean. We're ignoring the elephant in the room, at least till we get to Dr. Ranger's dance, and concentrating on the on-screen dance action. Hello and welcome to the Keep Dancing podcast. I'm Ellie and I'm your host. Tonight I'm joined by Emily.
Hi.
Elliot.
Hello.
And Meg.
Hello.
We are your 100% unofficial, unexpurgated and perennially undermarked source of Strictly Come Dancing analysis and opinions. We aren't neutral, we aren't polite, but we are filmed in IMAX 3D. It's just that the pictures don't work on the podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with us, email us at keepdancingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at keepdancingpod. We'd love to hear from you, and when we've got rid of a few more contestants, we might even read your questions out. We've also got a website, keepdancingpodcast.com. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell Neil Jones's mum. Well, everybody, movie week. It's traditionally the hottest mess of the theme weeks, and here we are again. What did everybody reckon to that?
To quote a film title, there was some good, there was some bad, and there was some ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No cowboys. No cowboys this year.
No, but a Spider-Man.
A Spider-Man. Very much
A
not,
Spider-Man,
very
singular.
Not the Spider-Man.
No. Certainly an A Spider-Man. Maybe even a B Spider-Man.
Definitely a bizarro universe Spider-Man, and I don't care whether it's Marvel or DC. I don't care.
Just in general.
Yeah, I just do not care. We'll come back to the Harry Potter theme later on for a quickfire round, but I know that they were excited about going to Harry Potter Land, but was there really need for so many edits in that weird Harry Potter starting routine?
No. Or at least make them better, because they were atrocious, and all I can think is how long was the audience sat there, so they were setting up all the shots for them to be edited, because they were jumping an awful lot, and it was awful. It was a mess.
Yeah, there was sort of like 6 15-second segments.
I was just going to say, I was actually really creeped out by Anton, the teacher, dancing with a student.
Oh yeah, because there was a little sort of
just
like kiss on the forehead bit at the end of that. Inappropriate relations, Anton.
Relationship.
To be honest,
Yeah.
you could have just done a fairly nice Viennese waltz to the main Harry Potter theme, and I would have been satisfied, because everybody...
I'd have been overjoyed.
Everybody in their
That would have been
Hogwarts
beautiful.
was lovely.
You could have done it themed to the Yule Ball, like, for the decorations.
Oh, it's not Christmas yet. You'd have had complaints.
I suppose, but they've got, like, pumpkins and...
Had it themed
And
for
stuff.
Halloween. But, oh no,
I
you'd have had
know,
complaints for that
but-
being too early yet as well. Oh well.
I do think they should have put more thought into which pro got which house, personally.
Oh, yeah.
And this quick fire round, which we're going to do when the pace slackens halfway through.
Okay.
So, speaking of the pace slackening, how about we get quick smart into our dances? Dancing the salsa and hoping to come out more Meryl Streep than Theresa May, it's Vic Hope and her partner Graziano. Now, I've got a funny story before we start talking about Vic and Graziano. Mine and Emily's nephew, Louis, he's a 3.5-year-old Strictly fan. So he's decided that Graziano is in fact John, my husband, and he's very concerned. He's very concerned for the state of my marriage because he thinks that people who dance together are going to get married. So,
which is
that's strictly just
partially true.
Destroying marriages.
Brilliant.
So,
our other sister is taking, and our mum is taking great pains to try and get Louis past this thing.
Well, at some point, I'm gonna because me and John are actually learning to dance together. I'll video us doing, I don't know, a quick cha-cha in the hall, as it were, and hope that we can unpick Graziano from John in Louis' mind.
I'm just trying to imagine John in Graziano's outfit from the dance.
He's got shirts like that. There'd be a metal t-shirt underneath. Anyway,
Yeah.
less about me, more about the lovely Vic. Giving it her absolute best salsering to a cha-cha song.
She actually got to dance this time. And be seen.
Yeah, Graziano
nice.
only hid her behind a building for part of the routine.
What more could you possibly want?
I think she's really visibly improving now. She was good from the beginning, but you can see there's just that more consistency coming through on stringing the steps together, and she's looking really, really good.
Yeah, provided she survives for a few more weeks, she is going to get really good. I mean, we're still not getting a massive sense of who she is as a person.
Yeah, she's improving, but yeah, she needs to, this is going to sound harsh, but improve quicker, as this week proved, because she improved, but I think 10 of the 14 improved in their score, so she needs to have a bigger leap, because quite a lot of them had bigger leaps, and she was still 5th or 6th bottom by the end of it, so
yeah,
she did well, but I'm just going to say...
This was a weird leaderboard, though.
It was a very weird leaderboard through everything, what I had anticipated, plus we'd seen for the first 2 weeks, into a giant spanner hole wrench, and it was just a mess, and I was like, well, the result show is going to be fun.
Yes, the result show was fun.
Actually, I think this week's leaderboard, she fell victim to being out first in not a particularly show-stopping dance, I suppose. It might have just got lost.
But yeah, that is the problem for Vic. She is on a sort of a fairly shallow improvement trajectory. She's back in ballroom next week, Did we get what she was doing? She's dancing to her mum's favourite song.
I don't think they said what she was dancing to.
Just think it was her mum's favourite song.
I think we only know 2 of the dancers for next week. I don't think Vix is one of them, so we'll find out.
3 on the dance card. In one word, our advice for Vic is improve.
I liked her outfit.
Yes, it was very good. I really liked that.
I didn't like the scarf faffing about at the beginning though. That went on way too long. Just props used as leads. It's just annoying for me.
Yeah.
Props.
It's props, isn't it? Movie week is always hellish morass of props.
And I've actually my Mamma Mia out of my skull of it ever existing because Pierce Brosnan singing No Thank You. But is there a red scarf in Mamma Mia, or is there a scarf? Is there something that links the scarf to Mamma Mia?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've sworn never to watch that film again because it is awful. To be honest.
It's fun.
It's a bit of light entertainment. It's very much in the spirit of Strictly, in that it's people doing things other than that for which they are known. But Pierce Brosnan is very much the struggler of the group. But it's all right, Vic. I don't know that they're going to put you on first again. dancing the quick-step, and arriving astride a majestic, medium-sized elephant. It's Dr. Ranj and his partner, Jeanette.
I felt like he kind of ran out of steam.
You, in your first noise utterance there, I think you summed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A jazzy Prince Ali, it was a little weird.
It was fun.
It was fine.
I had the sense that they would do this on a Saturday night anyway.
It was no rumba to a whole new world.
Well,
I was less uncomfortable than during the rumba to a whole new world, personally.
Who was that?
I had to go look it up, actually.
Years ago.
Yeah. 2013.
Oh, good grief.
And then Ali Ash did Aladdin last year as well, but I can't remember what they danced to, but I distinctly remember Ali Ash was dressed as Aladdin, which is why I was confused they used Aladdin again this year.
Well, Aladdin is currently in production in the West End, so it's a very easy VT to do.
The live remake.
The live Disney.
Oh, of course they are.
With the added character who doesn't exist. Because of course they need to...
Elliot. You know it's a story and none of them exist, right?
I know. I'm tired. I just have so many gripes with this performance and like the whole idea of this, because this is going to be on a slightly, I don't want to say political tangent, maybe more thinking more than it's movie week deep, but did they only give him Aladdin because he is of a mixed race / Indian descent, or that Asian, even though Aladdin is set in Egypt, if I'm correct, so it's Africa.
Good point, Elliot.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I was willing to go with Ranj saying it's his dream to have always been his dream to play Aladdin, but yes.
When you scratch along that.
A show that every year has to have a racism argument. I would have guided him to do anything else.
Sorry, I did wonder whether it was a sort of kind of call out to his more younger audience.
Yeah. Again, I'd rather think of that line than the...
Yeah, and
it wasn't dreadful, but it didn't set anything on fire. And the medium-sized dragon has a friend.
It was pretty bad, though. It was his weakest dance, and we can't ignore that. He wasn't good at it at all. And also, in Aladdin, you've got two songs which are canonically quicksteps, which you don't have to edit the timing to, which is A Friend Like Me, which is a classic quickstep song, and One Jump Ahead. Why they had to butcher Prince Ali to make it fit, because that rendition was awful they put together. It sounded really off.
I think it was the second most off-sounding song of the night.
It was just awful. I mean, I couldn't even sing along to it. Aladdin is one of my favourite films ever. And I didn't enjoy this, and yet I could totally believe that Ranj and Jeanette could go into a business turning up as Disney prince and princesses to kids' parties. I could totally see that happening in 6 months' time once this is over. It'd be adorable.
He's got the jawline, he could do it.
But I just think they would just have the most fun with it, and if doctoring, if they both decide to do a different career path, there's one for them.
If you've not already read it, there's a brilliant short blog. I think they only did 12 posts about being a Disney princess at parties and how hellish it is.
I can only imagine.
I do recommend it if you get a chance to have a Google for finding it. I didn't think it was that bad, but I've only seen Aladdin once. It was alright. He looked like his legs got really tired halfway through, which, given that it was a quick step,
that's
fair enough.
What happens in quick step.
Yup.
There's not much to say, and time is wearing on, and this is only dance 2.
Yeah.
So, I thank Ranj and move on. Dancing the cha-cha-cha and introducing the first of 2 newly female sci-fi doctors this weekend. It's Lee Ryan and his partner, Nadia. Now, this was the worst alteration of a song to fit the dance. I just couldn't
What was that?
Oh!
It was horrifying.
It was just when I got...
was horrifying.
Meg, expand on horrifying.
The wobbly hoverboard wire work.
There was too much wire work this week. Way too much.
The sexy Dr. Brown.
Don't you diss my Halloween costume.
I think you'd put it off better. She looked a bit like she'd electrocuted herself.
I wouldn't have done quite so much on the face.
Yeah. Someone had too much fun with the diamond...
the bedazzling wand.
Yeah. Everything got bedazzled. It was a little... They put smoke on the stage and it still didn't really hide the true horror. Some of the footwork was just excruciating, quite frankly. And a Gillette, no.
What was interesting for me was in the dance-off, he just got rid of the denim jacket and the gilet and just went for it. That was the most, the only time that somebody taking off a gilet is a capitulation.
Yeah, do we know why he got rid of that?
Probably because it's really hard to dance in 2 shirts and a gilet.
Probably. But, yeah, the writing was on the wall when the dry ice went up to their knees and you couldn't see their feet. And I'm pretty sure the judges couldn't see their feet either for the first good half of that. So how can you judge a dance and their footwork when you can't see it?
Well, that's why it only got 19, because you can't
exactly.
see half the dance. You can only give it half the marks.
And him trying to moonwalk to the cha-cha rhythm. I applaud the reach and the idea, Nadia, but no. Not even if Oti and Katya haven't tried that, doesn't mean you should. I think that should be the benchmark. Run it by those two first, and if either of them say no, you put it in the bin. And you set it on fire. It wasn't... Okay, the first time was terrible.
Elliot, she was channeling Doc Brown, and when you're a scientist, a mad scientist of that caliber, you don't ask, should I? You ask, can I?
Are you just trying to justify any part you can to Back to the Future with this routine?
I really don't like the Back to the Future films, and I understand that this is somewhat controversial as a bit of a nerd.
Really, Emily? Why?
I really don't like them.
Why? What's up with them?
I think I don't like Marty McFly. I want him to fail. Which is sort of a key point of watching the film. I'm much more of a Bill and Ted fan, as we know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bill and Ted is probably the most logical depiction of time travel. And the fact that we haven't had a Bill and Ted routine in Movie Week makes me sad.
So we'd have to have a same-sex couple.
Well,
I don't know. I think somebody could drag up as Keanu.
Yeah, we've had Erin dance in a suit before and dragged up, so years and years and years ago, so it's doable. I will say this, though, as a final point. I actually agreed with Shirley in the dance-off, and I would have saved him because he did improve a hell of a lot. Yeah. I will give him that. He went out on a high, at least. But, yeah, it just proved he had no social clout when it came to the public vote this year.
Yeah, just pretty shockingly. And the judges seem to be keen to dispose of him as well.
Yeah.
I remembered why I brought up that I don't like Back to the Future.
Sorry. Okay. Emily, why don't you like Back to the Future?
No, I just remembered why I brought it up, which is basically that I don't know if having Nadia as sexy Doc Brown is any less troubling than having Marty dancing with his mum.
Very fair point.
Well, yeah. Marty does have a love interest in Back to the Future, but she's not really in the film.
No. Well, there was a bit of a hoo-ha about that, wasn't there?
What?
Yeah. Considering I don't like the film, I've read about it, because it's one of Tom's favourites, but, apparently there was another actress lined up, but, What's-His-Face didn't like her.
But also, What's-His-Face wasn't supposed to be the man that got the job.
Yeah, that's why it's a bit of a hoo-ha.
Oh, a bit of a hoo-ha, a bit of a mess, a bit of a week 3 of Strictly.
Yeah, a bit of a week 3 of Strictly.
Yeah. You know it's bad when the highlight of that dance is that you get to sing along to That's the Power of Love for 90 seconds, which is what I did.
Yeah, you get to make as much noise as you can to cover over the weird cha-cha-ization of it. And moving swiftly on, as the smoke machine covers all memory of Lee Ryan ever having been here in the first place. Dancing the foxtrot and making everyone do that cartoon eye-popping, heart-pounding, exaggerated sweat drop thing, it's Kate Silverton and her partner Aliash.
I was just so impressed with her recovery from that stumble. Because that could have gone so badly wrong.
Yeah, she has quite big feet, and in heels, she was wider than the step, which I believe is a health and safety issue, and I will be checking up with their RIDOR supervisor, because that was a near miss.
Yeah.
Yep, that officially counts.
Sorry, and then they went on to do a really nice dance.
I think she'll be doing it again in the final.
Yes.
If, an early dance that has something go wrong is clearly earmarked for, one of the ones you repeat in the final. And I would very much like to see that done again. Because the foxtrot being Aliash's speciality and his favourite dance, that song, a fantastic foxtrot with a bit of oomph to it. The costuming, just, it was a stumble away from perfection, really.
How much does Aliash love dressing up as, fluffy creatures as well?
Oh, his little rabbity nose.
Aliash is a Hufflepuff.
He is a Hufflepuff.
He's totally a Hufflepuff. He's the hufflest of Hufflepuffs.
Alright, okay, pros so far. Quick fire round. Graziano.
Slytherin.
Yeah.
Slytherin.
Yeah. That hair, that Slytherin hair, I'm afraid, Graziano. Jeanette?
Gryffindor.
Oh, I'm not sure on Jeanette.
Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I think she's a Gryffindor because her bravado often outstrips her ability to deal with the situation.
That is very true.
Yeah. Jeanette's a Gryffindor. And Nadia?
I do not know enough about her to assign her a house, to be fair. I know nothing about this woman 2 years in.
Yeah. That's really sad, isn't it? That we've not really been able to get a sense of Nadia.
She's just a smiley blonde woman. That's all I know her as. Last year she was really smiley and fiery, and this year she's just been smiley, so I know nothing of her.
Well, Lee Ryan's not exactly the world's best conversationalist, so their VTs are never going to be up to much.
At least again, they don't have to worry about who they're going to rein in this week, because again, they used other people in his VT. I can't remember who it was, but it was someone else. Alexandra Burke, that was it. They rang her and someone else.
Duncan James, with his funny little pencil moustache.
Hey, Anthony Costa's not looking so good. No. But anyway, back to lovely Kate Silverton and her partner, Aliash. Yes, Aliash the bunny. Sorry, we just all got terribly distracted for a moment there, and I think that was just the general reaction across the nation to Kate and Aliash doing that.
Yeah,
It's very good.
I loved it.
Yes.
The control to keep it that slow is amazing.
Yeah. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's quite a sick old film. It's not for kids.
Oh, yeah.
Not for kids.
No.
This was really, really good, and this deserved higher. And again, I'm going to say it now, I don't understand why Kate is being marked lower than Faye and Ashley, to be brutally honest, because she is just as good, if not better, than them.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
And that's not an age thing or anything, that is, she was doing a foxtrot which had 2 rhythm changes in it, and she kept up. She almost fell flat on her face, and she recovered like it didn't happen. She literally just brushed it off as it was part of their routine or something, and she just went back into this I'm a diva personality. I think if that was anyone else, that probably would have thrown them, but she was just completely unflappable, and she looks stunning in long red hair.
She's just stunning full stop.
She's great.
She didn't score as much as Sean, Graham, or Stacey.
No, she came 5th.
No, she got 29.
She should have outscored all of those 3. She should have been 3rd on the leaderboard. Really?
Realistically, yeah, she should have been, but I guess this comes back to our sort of theory of that she's never going to be an 8s and 9s dancer. She's going to be a 6, 7s and the odd 8 dancer, which is frustrating.
It's still early on. If she's on the improver track, then she gets a bit longer.
I think she needs to have her breakthrough next week. Otherwise, I'm fearing that she's gonna leave us in like 8th or 7th, because as we'll get into in a bit, Stacey's now made herself a contender. Joey's already won. We need someone else to fill that 5th place spot, and I think someone else is going to take it next week, realistically, and I think it needs to be her.
Yeah. Like the who's going to win this series already being sort of numerically settled is it asks more questions than it answers, really, doesn't it?
We need a challenger to be in the final, because at the minute it looks set who that 4 is going to be, and I don't want to sit through 10 weeks knowing who the final 4 is.
Who is the final 4?
I think it's pretty obvious at the minute it's going to be Faye, Stacey, Joe and Ashley. I think that's what it's set up to be.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. But,
which we will get into later, but it's set up in the judges' heads that is the final 4.
Well, it's going to be a hollow sham of a series. Right, has anybody got any other superlatives to chuck at Kate?
Keep doing what you're doing because you're amazing.
I'm into that. Dancing the jive and invoking the spirit of the billion passive-aggressive elderly family members on Facebook, it's Stacey Dooley and her partner Kevin. I did not care for the styling, but once I managed to unfocus my eyes sufficiently, I understand that they were doing a deeply competent jive.
Yes.
Which makes it more annoying that they were dressed up as bloody minions.
I've got no problem with them being dressed up as minions, bloody or otherwise, but I really didn't need the yellow body paint. Like, I feel like the yellow top and leggings and denim combination would have got enough minion across without having to paint without yellow.
I think they couldn't have not painted them, given that last year Ashton and Janine were spray painted to within an inch of their life for trolls.
Aston and Jeanette. Yeah, but...
Jeanette, sorry.
That looked a mess as well.
Yeah,
I know.
They don't need to do body paint, basically.
And let's not forget Pasha Shrek about 7 years ago as well.
That was cute.
Her dress was great in that dance. But yeah, this was a pleasant, cute jive. It's another jive in flat. I think Vic is the only one who's done a jive in heels so far, which is frustrating but applaudable. But yeah, it was good, and I'm happy that Stacey's got her confidence back, because you can see she had a lot of fun with this routine, and yeah, I hope this is Kevin's wacky note done for the season, and we can get back to the normal.
It is not
dances.
Kevin's wackiness done for the season.
Oh,
no,
but
it's not.
But I want
There's
it
a
to be
next week.
What did that entail? Like, they said motorbikes to Grimsby. Like, that's a sentence I never thought I would hear or need to hear.
What are they doing next week? Did we hear their dance?
I don't think no, they didn't say what they were doing. They just said it involves a motorbike to Grimsby. But my question is, why would you want to go to Grimsby?
Well, because
it's a lovely place.
I've never been to Carcomet, to be fair, but
exactly, it's a lovely place.
It's lovely. I wonder if they're doing a horrendous rock tango.
Oh,
no, the motorbike from the Strictly Prop room's got to come out again.
And they're using that motorbike that Brendan had out for the 80s number last year. There's only one motorbike at Elstree.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't come down from the ceiling, it's fine. That's all I ask.
I'm just dreading it.
It would have put me off if I'd have had to try and dance a complex jive routine with somebody painted yellow.
They must have, like, in training, either put something yellow on their faces or done something stupid to get past that barrier, because you would have a laughing fit, just like having to look back and see this bright neon yellow face with goggles right there. Like, I would be in stitches.
When Stacey saw herself in the Clauditorium, she was kind of like, where?
Yeah, I don't think Stacey had actually properly seen herself until the bit where they were filming the Sunday night results show. So that was a nice thing to have caught on camera.
Also, I think it also really gives light to the whole Sunday night is not filmed on Saturday night thing, because it was clearly obvious that they weren't going to spray them again.
They're barely even pretending now.
No, I wish they'd give up.
They've even stopped the pros from doing Twitter and Instagram stuff. Oti's been posting all day about how she's been cooking for her husband, so, they've even relaxed that old rule.
Yeah, I think they all know that it's done on one night, and who would, no disrespect, but who would go to a results show literally to watch a few names get called out and then watch two dancers, which were voted the worst? It seemed bizarre to think anyone would ever fall for that. But yeah, I'm glad Stacey's doing well. I think I want her to win still. She's still my favourite. And yay, I'm glad she's back in contention after last week.
Yay!
How many jives have we got left?
Hang on a moment, because I have this on the spreadsheet.
I think we've had 4 so far.
There are 10 jives remaining.
Yeah, we've had 4.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of jives.
Yeah, hang on. I'm just going to blank out Lee Ryan's column on the spreadsheet live.
Oh.
Bye. Bye.
Toodaloo.
Bye. Oh dear. Well, there goes Lee. Shall we move on then?
Yes.
Dancing in American Smooth and enjoying the first ever use of tactical balloons on Strictly, it's Joe Sugg and his partner Diane.
Now, wearing dance shoes!
He was wearing dance shoes. I was so proud of him. I was so proud of this incremental notion that he's taking it seriously. Also, he's nearly 30. He's not 12. Is High School Musical even a thing? Who knows children? Who knows young people?
No.
I'm 25, so I might be able to spread some light on this.
Yes, Elliot. Right, tell me about High School Musical.
Right, High School Musical came out, oh god, the sequel came out about 11 years ago, so I think the first one came out about 13 years ago, so Joe would have been 15 or 16. And it's... the song, it's really weird because the whole premise of the first film isn't, this song is the final song, but it's only for the audition for the High School Musical. It's not the song at the end of the musical, it's just a song they sing in the audition together. But it's this big thing because they meet through this sort of ski lodge resort the week before they go back to college, or school even, sorry, and then they realise at the same school when it's just a load of American Hallmark for an hour and a half. And it's all about friendship and choosing your career versus the one you love, but he's a basketball player, but he also likes to sing, and all these different conflicting realities get a grip on the world you can like sport and sing.
So is it like a really American Billy Elliot?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like sport and singing can't mix. Oh, get over yourself, America. But yeah, this is my issue with Joe and Diane doing this song. They're not the youngest couple. It surely would have made more sense for high schoolers to be Lauren and AJ, your youngest celebrity and your youngest pro.
We told them off for making AJ the child.
I know, but still, there's something weird about watching a 29-year-old and a 28-year-old dressed as a jock and a cheerleader in a school gymnasium, dancing a very awkward American Smooth.
Yeah, but they just had everybody except Anton in Hogwarts school uniforms. This was actually quite a wrong old episode of Strictly, wasn't it?
There were so many marks missed. There were so many marks missed.
I've got to say that I've just spent a weekend with a... because I'm a Go Guide leader, I've just spent a weekend with a Go Guide camp, and, half my Go Guides weren't even born when the first movie came out. They don't talk about High School Musical.
Yeah, I just didn't think it
weird.
was a current cultural reference.
It's not.
Is it actually to expand his audience to people of mine and his age, because I am the same age as Joe.
Did it make you feel at all warm towards Joe?
Well, no, because I, unfortunately, in his eyes, don't follow pop culture in that way. Like, I actively rejected High School Musical because it was full of tropes that I found deeply irritating. The dance itself was fine, but it was dull. It wasn't... I've never liked the song. It's a dull song. And so, you know, it didn't capture me, but there's no reason that people that of my age who did really like High School Musical, of which there are quite a few, didn't get all, like, nostalgia glows from this.
Well, the problem is, as, like, me and Ewan did that mini episode during the week, if the numbers are right, and there's basically no way anybody can stop Joe, they have to, in order to keep the shape of the Strictly story together, give Joe a satisfying narrative arc. So he has to have a revelatory dance today, like this weekend. This dance had to be good, and you'll notice that the judges marked it as it actually was, even though they were saying all of these things about it being really good and about how he's improving and he's a revelation.
It just shows the disparity between how people react to what the judges say and how they react to what the actual scores are, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you said, it feels like he needs to have something where they can look back on to have comparison for where he improved, because this was his weakest dance. We cannot deny that. It was awkward. I feel like he lost his personality in this dance. Like, he was focusing so much on everything that's involved with ballroom, with your ribs connected and your hold and your legs and all that. We lost Joe. And we also lost Diane. We, lost them as a partnership, which is this really happy, smiley couple, which we've known and kind of, love and we ship. But, yeah, it didn't gel.
I'm embarrassed at how much I ship Joe and Diane.
They are adorable together. We can't deny that. They are a perfect partnership.
I want her to stop vlogging so much.
I think she's loving it. Yeah. But yeah, this wasn't their best dance, but like we said, everyone needs to have a bad dance. And like Lee went backwards when everyone else got better, Joe only had a minor fault, but when you look at it in a 15-week program, that will be the standout week dance compared to the rest of the scores, but it wasn't too bad of a drop for week 3.
It's put him off the Strictly Graph winners track, which is a bit of a shame. But, you know, maybe we'll have some surprises this series.
I hope so.
Otherwise it's going to be really boring.
Well, I'm trying to find new ways to entertain ourselves. Anyway, so Kevin's a Gryffindor, right?
Yes. No.
Yes.
No, he's a Hufflepuff. He's a total Hufflepuff. Come on.
Kevin, he's ambitious as all hell. He's a Slytherin.
Kevin's really ambitious.
Yeah, but Hufflepuffs can be ambitious. I mean, just look at
Cedric,
thank you.
I mean, it didn't work out for him, but...
Yeah, I mean...
it didn't work out, but he was a driven Hufflepuff.
Of course, because Kevin's got to the final a few times and never won, that does give him that sort of duffer quality that a Hufflepuff does need.
Yeah.
And he'd be happy there in the Hufflepuff common room, all cosy with Aliash. Okay,
Yeah.
Kevin's going into Hufflepuff.
Okay.
And Diane? Ooh,
Same, I would say. She's just innocent and sweet, so she's not really a Slytherin. We haven't really seen a courageous, ambitious side from her, so she can't really be a Gryffindor. I can't fully remember the traits of Ravenclaw. Christ,
smart, real smart.
Yeah.
Has she demonstrated, Mensa or,
Dance
high
Mensa.
IQs? Yeah, of course, dance Mensa. I'd have her in Hufflepuff as well, because she just seems... Her and Kevin seem very equally together, if you know what I mean. They seem very similar personality-wise. So, I think they'd have a great time together in Hufflepuff.
There's an absolute dead cert Gryffindor coming up next. Dancing the Charleston like a man who has actually had a radioactive spider bite. It's Graham Swan and his partner, Orty.
This was ludicrous.
This was great.
What was this?
We are now just progressing on the force of Oti's personality. Totally unnecessary lift. I mean, it got him out of 15 seconds of dance. But the problem was, like Lauren, Graham's basic swivel action was there. And he could have just done a few more sets of 8, just swiveling backwards and forwards, as it were.
Yeah, his basic Charleston was really, really good. I do love how they had to have like the 15 seconds of getting him out of the harness. So Oti's like, I'll just vamp and freestyle to this camera and distract you, and then there's Graham. I always love when that happens.
I feel like she's increased the Josephine Baker influences on her Charleston as she's gone on in the various series she's starred in now. So, like, she didn't do it in the first couple of series, but you can really, really see if you watch those old clips of Josephine Baker, you know, it's really Baker. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, Josephine Baker. I think you can really see that she's kind of doing that call back into that now. So she enjoyed having her little 15 seconds of vamp.
Yes, if you want to see some 1920s dancing that will make you feel really alive, Josephine Baker.
But if you want to feel really scandalised, read the story of her life, because
She did not get justice.
No.
I would like to point out that this is another flat-shoed Charleston.
Yes.
Which I do not love.
Have they just run out of dance shoes? Can nobody wear a heel anymore?
Was the bedazzler being used on everything else? Could they not have bedazzled some dance shoes?
But saying that, Kate wore a bedazzled shoe and she nearly ate the floor, so it's a bit of a...
Maybe it is. Maybe the health and safety person has deemed excessive heel wearing to be detrimental to everybody's health and safety. This is why you should always take your risk assessments seriously.
Yes.
Because otherwise you end up doing a Charleston in flat shoes.
That just says terrible tendon pain to me.
And you just can't achieve the same movement. It is getting to be a thing this year.
It's going to be something that we get thoroughly on our high horse about throughout the series, I feel.
High horse? I am on my medium-sized elephant about it, and
I retract my statement. You are on a medium-sized elephant about it.
I am waiting for my medium-sized dragon to arrive.
Emily, what medium-sized animal are you going to ride on?
Capybara.
Nice. Elliot?
A fox, because I just love them.
Okay.
Medium-sized fox.
And Oti's a Gryffindor, and anybody who disagrees is wrong.
I think, I'm not sure I can speak for everyone, but I was never expecting Graham Swan to do a Charleston this good. I'll say that as a final point. Like, this surpassed every expectation I had of him.
He's got like we've discussed with him in the previous episodes, he has got such good body placement, like, and being able to hit those sort of musical highlights with the moves really enhances the Charleston and makes it feel less laboured.
Yeah,
I just wish he'd been wearing dance shoes.
To say that he's this year's sports-based struggler, he's actually really good.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, it's a little bit, oh my eyes, good, but, you know, good.
It shades a little dad dancing sometimes.
Well, I mean, he is
he's
a dad.
Yeah, I know he is a dad, but, like...
And he's doing a lot of this for the pride of his kids, although not just boys, Bruno, can I say. He actually specifically said that he's got 2 girls and a boy. And
the wee girls can have Spider-Man as a hero as well, thank you.
Yes.
Dancing the Salsa, and actually, Dirty Dancing is quite a feminist movie about women's bodily and intellectual autonomy. It's Ashley Roberts and her partner, Pasha.
Still not a right good film, though, is it?
It's weird. It's tonally very weird, and structurally a little bit odd as well.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack. I'm not having a go at the soundtrack or anything.
Well, the soundtrack is immortal.
Yeah, but I still don't... It's still another film that I just think,
You're so contrary, Emily.
No, I'm not.
I've watched it once about 10 years ago, and from what I remember it was alright.
It's very Bosch built. So I think there's context there that not everyone gets. And I only know that because I ended up reading a friend of mine's article about it for a journal before she submitted it.
Yes, it's a very specific film with really specific references, but also it's got a really specific dance sequence in it with a really specific lift. And if
we saw that.
If you're doing a 90-second routine, which is allegedly a salsa, to music from Dirty Dancing, sort of 30 seconds of your choreography is already done for you.
I would suggest that it was slightly more than 30 seconds of the choreography that was already done for them. Maybe like 76 seconds.
Ooh. Were you in any doubt that Ashley wouldn't achieve the lift?
No, I think that entire VT about them not getting it in their dress rehearsal was completely artificial. I do not believe for 1 second they struggled with that lift, because if it was that bad, they would have taken it out and not used it. Or they would have they would have had her harnessed in to help him. There is no way they struggled. They purposely got that wrong for the camera to make it think of, oh, look, a revelation. I don't believe for 1 second they struggled.
I think maybe they got it on the third attempt. But, the struggle to achieve the lift and the doing it in the pool river business is part of the story of the film, so I guess it's an easy VT to do.
Yeah.
To make you warm to a celebrity who's come in that people haven't really warmed to yet.
I must admit, I wasn't a fan of this routine. I liked the little side-by-side bit they did, the sort of like syncopated toe, heel, knee hitching bit. That was nice. The rest of it, I couldn't care for, and she had zero hip action. So the fact she got the score she did was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, but she's here to get some West End roles next year, so,
True.
Dirty Dancing's
Roxy Hart.
Dirty Dancing's currently in production.
Has she done the splits yet? Because I feel like that's another, strictly to West End box you need to tick. If you can do them, do the splits.
Yeah, she can do the splits, but she's saving it for her Argentine tango or her rumba.
Yeah.
Yes. They got the tango next week, so...
I think my main problem with this routine was she's really uncomfortable on hold, and then the song and the lift are really well-tread, Strictly history, really. We've seen the song quite a few times over the years in Strictly. The lift is always in it. And I just felt like there wasn't a lot of new content that made me go, oh yeah, I really like this. It was just kind of like,
Are you maybe alluding to the fact that we need some more different films in movie week?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say that there's one coming up that I was actually quite surprised to see in the movie week.
I saw a tweet last night. Someone's actually listed the repeated or all the films or movies they've referenced since 2015 with Movies and Musical Week, and it's shockingly short.
It's maybe 30 films, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's been a lot of redos, and I don't know why, because you have such a massive repertoire of films and references you can use.
People... Right, this is going to sound weird, but people don't actually watch many films.
No, I mean, I can't remember the last time I went to the cinema, to be brutally honest, so, yeah.
People who are... people who love cinema go to the cinema all the time, but there is this massive population of people who
have been totally priced out of going to the cinema.
Yeah, who are totally priced and locationed out of going to the cinema. So And time, yes, because, a big
families, kids.
A big film is 3 hours long now.
That's a lot of babysitter.
Yeah, so, your regular person's film experience is whatever ends up on a streaming service and whatever is on those weird dreg movie channels on TV. So
on that note, I want to say, a massive well done to my local cinema for being wonderful and affordable.
Emily, name drop your local cinema.
That would be the Parkway Cinema Barnsley, who have just done 2001 Space Odyssey experience with a brilliant technical and audio technical chat from the guy that runs it and a tour of the projection room.
Amazing.
On the proper 70mm film.
So, get yourself to the Parkway Cinema in Barnsley.
My soon-to-be local cinema is the Connaught in Worthing, and one of the things they've taken to doing recently is playing films from this year 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And kind of doing themed. So they did Dirty Dancing a couple of years ago, and you got like a watermelon martini with your ticket, and they've done Big Trouble in Little China, and you got chop suey, and it's good fun.
They put some thought and effort into it. What's your local cinema,
and it's not
Elliot?
hideously expensive.
What's your local cinema, Elliot?
My local one is a chain, but my brother works there, so I get 3 tickets, so that's a bonus. But the cinema I do actually love, which is where I actually saw my first ever film, which was Hercules, and it's still standing to this day and running, is the Showcase Cinemas in Winnish. It's a lovely little cinema. It's a bit modernised now, but it doesn't break the bank, and it's exterior and its lettering from when I was 5 on the outside is still exactly the same, so I love the fact they've kept it for 18 plus years. It is susceptible to flooding though, because it's a bit below sea level, which is a slight problem.
That is alarming.
It is.
My local cinemas are the Grosvenor in the West End of Glasgow and the Glasgow Film Theatre, the GFT. And we're all very lucky to have lovely local cinemas.
I'm also going to say that, given that we diverted onto our local cinemas, we didn't have a lot to say about the stance.
No, we didn't. So that was
It was 5.
That was the single most damning review of a dance we've ever given.
No, it isn't, because we plain forgot what's in the face on repeated occasions last year.
What's his face?
Her face.
Molly.
Oh, Molly.
Molly.
Dancing the foxtrot and telling Ryan Gosling to stop boring on about jazz. It's Katie Piper and her partner Gorka.
Oh, this was cute.
Yeah, this was adorable.
This is adorable.
Much more adorable than the actual film La La Land.
Yes.
That's just misogynistic and weird. I don't like La La Land. There, I said it. I do not like La La Land. Everyone ignores the premise of it's highly sexist against Emma Stone because she's a woman, she can't do the job, and Ryan Gosling's a smug idiot in the film who needs a slap.
Also, it's very victory for real music. You have to.
It is.
And
so pretentious.
Let's have a white guy teach us all about jazz.
Yes.
Beautiful
I
stuff.
mean,
anyway,
it was kind of funny because my husband went and saw it, and he said before he went, he was like, "I think this might be a film that you'd like," and then he came back out afterwards and was like, "No, let's not. No, don't do it."
No, but it does have a nice yellow dress in it and a few nice songs. And Katie Piper got one of the nice songs and a yellow dress and did a lovely foxtrot.
I was slightly put off by her shoes.
That is apparently a reference to something that happens in the film.
It is.
Yes, it was just that I think they were a little too bright, maybe. Like the lights were reflecting off them, which didn't, I think, help her because it kind of highlighted a couple of fumbles for me. But otherwise, I really loved it. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. There wasn't much foxtrot content in there.
There wasn't much foxtrot content in there.
No, there was about 6 or 7 figures, but they were really basic figures, which she did well. Her frame has improved. Her movement has improved. I didn't actually notice that they were meant to come down the stairs in time, apparently, as Craig pointed out. Didn't bother me. It was cute. It was sweet. It drew you into their little world, and they were probably one of, if the only couple who made you feel like you were watching a film or something unfold in front of you.
Rather than just a sort of a weird set piece.
Yeah, instead of this is an homage to the film, it made you feel like you were watching a part of a film. It was really adorable. It was a concept well thought out, heaven forbid.
And also, Katie didn't get much dance content in it, but the improvements in the frame and the posture and the confidence, that's what we're looking for from
Yeah,
this.
I think that was Gorka choreographing correctly for his celebrity, wasn't it?
Yeah, because she's just going to wilt if he gives her 90
Stuff she can't
seconds
do.
of, like, 9 out of 10 difficulty stuff. No, I really like her.
And I mean, she has limitations that he's clearly starting to work with, and it's good. No, I did really like it, and I would also like to say that the Strictly lamppost came out of the prop room again.
The quite horrendous wobble.
I think it's getting a bit old.
It's getting worse. I think someone might have cross-threaded it last year or something.
Well, it's one of those indoor pole dance poles, isn't it? Inside.
Yeah, with a light thing.
Yeah. They've got at least 2 of these indoor pole dance poles, and they've had them for a few years. And yes, it's probably time to check that it's not cross-threaded.
And they have quite a few people hanging off them, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried next season someone's going to do a 12 round, pull too hard, and it's just going to come falling down.
The end came off in my hand.
And then it'll be in every sort of Channel 5, ITV, reality TV mishap clip show for the next 20 years.
When Strictly goes wrong, how awkward. Emily, you've not said a lot about this.
I don't have... I mean, I'm glad she's gaining confidence. I feel like Gorka choreographed correctly for her, for what she feels comfortable doing. She does still look a bit stilted in places, where she is obviously having to really think about the moves. But, yeah, I didn't say a lot because I didn't have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it was fine.
2 more for the sorting hat, then. Pasha.
Oh,
I think, so there's 2 Pashas. There's sort of cuddly funtime Pasha, who is another Strictly Hufflepuff. And then there's Pasha when he's wearing a roll neck, and he is a Slytherin.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Funny thing you say that. Years ago when I did the Pottermore quiz, I had the weird concept of being able to choose my house because according to their algorithm, I was a split personality of Hufflepuff and Slytherin.
How?
So apparently it is a thing.
How do you Huffle Slither?
Sliverpuff. I will admit I can be very sweet, but I also have an acid tongue when I need to be. I will admit that. So that's probably why.
Do you know, I think Keep Dancing might be a gang of Slitherpuffs.
Yes.
I'm just trying to picture what a Slitherpuff... I'm just imagining like a really fluffy snake.
I like to imagine that it's a snake that's eaten like a gerbil.
Oh, I was thinking more feathery than fluffy, and then I was going down the Aztec Quetzalcoatl route. So.
Oh yeah.
or a snake that's been turned into a flump, so it's just like a marshmallow snake.
Well, anyway, at this point, we've now put more thought into it than J.K. Rowling did, so let's stop. Gorka.
Gryffindor. He has to
Gryffindor.
be. He's noble, he's honourable, he will do the right thing. He's a Gryffindor.
Absolutely.
That's the most obvious one.
Right.
He choreographs for his partner.
Brace yourselves, folks. It's red pill time. Dancing the Paso Doble and showing us that it's not the spoon that bends, because the spoon is in fact Katya. It's Sean Walsh and his partner, Katya.
Well, this was
Wow.
a surprise.
Yeah.
My jaw was on the floor. From start to finish. I thought that this was going to be a bit of a Mickey take, but it was genuinely
Commanding.
thrilling.
He was so focused from start to finish.
I think he needs a character. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think he is a dancer because he is a comedian and he's so used to being self-deprecating like many comedians are and things like that, that actually, if you take that you're being Sean away and give him a character to be, he's going to do a lot better.
It felt like a Paso show dance, I will say that. And if Sean had any hope of making the final, I would have loved to see this as their show dance. Because how epic would have this been as a show dance? I loved what Katya was wearing. I loved her 15-second vamp solo as well. I watched Katya compete many times and do compete in show dance events with Neil. They're amazing competitions to watch. And that is her strength, is having a show dance moment as a solo. She will do anything and everything to make sure the eye's on her. This was just I never thought I would see Sean Welsh do such a serious, demanding dance properly without any mistakes. They dyed his hair as well. That's the first thing I picked up on. They dyed his hair.
Hey, it was only a 2 to 10 washes one.
It's just some of that brushing stuff.
Spray it. But this was incredible. The only thing I will pick up on is that he had a slight wobble landing when he did the flip. And how he could have improved that is if he kept his legs together when he did flip, because his legs were apart, which meant he didn't land through his centre, and that's what made him wobble. That's the only thing I noticed.
See, manspreading is a plague.
But apart from that, fantastic.
Yeah, like there were the bit where there were literally 2 things that I had never seen before in my life. The lift from the floor, like just up with her.
Oh my god, yes.
That was amazing. And then the bullet time sequence, fantastic. And what they were
blows my
wearing,
mind.
and the tactical bomb cape on Sean, so you couldn't tell whether he was tucked under or not. Just genius from start to finish.
Katya loves to give. She loves to give a lift challenge, doesn't she? Last year it was a lift with Joe, and now this year it's that one. She like I've watched her for so many years, but she still baffles me. Like, her choreography is amazing, which is why, again, I'll say this, Neil needs to be a pro, because he is just as good as the choreographer as Katya. They work a lot together on their choreography, and having them both on the show and having a female celebrity do that sort of stuff would be amazing. We need it.
I'm starting thinking of getting some What About Neil badges made.
I think that should be a thing.
That should be our first official merch, shouldn't it? Is What About Neil badges.
I feel that it may be seen as making a statement that I'm not making, but...
And I will say this, Neil and Katya don't live too far from me, so I'm pretty sure I could just mail them some. They're not far.
What about Neil? No, don't do that. Leave them alone.
Leave Neil alone.
Leave them alone.
I mean, for me, one of the things I really loved was the music choice. Because there's so many... kind of when I heard there was going to be a Matrix theme, I was thinking, is it going to be like Rage Against the Machine or one of the Rob Zombie tracks or
Good Lord,
one of the
can you
name
imagine
tracks
the Strictly
of
Band
the...
doing a Rob Zombie?
Oh god, that would be amazingly horrifying. But I really like that particular track. It samples one of my favourite Enigma variations. So I'm biased, but it just worked so well. And I really loved the call out to bullet time. The wire work was appropriate and not dreadful. It was just amazing. And I am claiming Katya for Ravenclaw.
Yeah, Katya's a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, she is.
This was incredible.
And also, Neil is in Ravenclaw as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yay!
This was amazing, and for the first time this series, it's making me excited to see what Sean's going to do, not make me worried about what he's going to do, because we now know he can be serious and he can do it well, so I want to see more of this. I don't want him to hide behind the, I'm the comedian just giving it a go self-pity act, because he can do it now. He has the potential.
He's got literally no excuse now.
Yeah, his arc, or why the BBC have cast him, has just been shattered by Katya, so... Sorry, Sean.
Just no more gurning. I wish to see no more gurning after that, because he managed an entire dance without any gurning, and it was fantastic.
Next week.
But I feel really strongly that he is much more comfortable when he's playing a character in his dances. I think Katya's going to have caught on to that, and she's going to be giving him backstory for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely easier if you are a person who is very much sort of stuck in their own head to have a vessel to put your performance in. So next week, I reckon it's on with the suit and a serious ballroom.
Kelly spread a stare.
No, don't.
No, but whatever.
I think they should go quite dark. But that's just because I enjoyed catching PVC and Power Mesh. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that.
She is a queen.
We're not going to get that.
But can we point out that your tweet, which then got corrected by Teresa, of what she actually claims the outfit was, but we all know exactly what it was.
Yeah, like Katya was doing Saturday night primetime TV in fetish wear, and Teresa was like, Matrix wear.
I was like, no.
No,
Hey, that's just what they called it to get it past the people that sign off in the BBC.
Yeah, call it what you want. We all know what it was.
Kink.
It was Matrix cosplay. Yes. Okay.
Using fetish wear.
Fine. Yeah, well, yes. This is just what you wear in the Matrix.
I know we say it a lot, but Katya and Oti's choreography continue to blow my mind and have improved Strictly Come Dancing. No end.
You know, I don't know why this is just coming to my head, but I would pay very good money to see Sean and Katya in his outfits just walk out of Elstree just to the shop and just see what reactions they get. Just completely, like, not, like, even acknowledging the fact they're walking down like a pair of Matrix cosplayers, or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, Katya looks like an alien queen, but Sean, I think, in daylight, he might have looked a bit of a planter.
Yeah, no. As someone who had the Matrix as a terrible teenage outfit inspiration thing, it doesn't work in real life.
No. Right, anyway, with that awkwardness over, let's move swiftly on. Dancing the cha-cha-cha, and could the driver with the big Volvo with the plate SCD1 move their car? It's blocking the dancers in. Lauren Steadman and her partner, AJ.
She's not a Latin girl, is she? She has confidence in ballroom because the second week in a row she struggled with confidence, and it's Latin. I think she likes being comfortable and hold. I will say this, though. The wide shot of her on the car, her outfit, I know it was Fame, before anyone goes at me. I've watched Fame, I know the song, I know it's something about Fame, but from a distance with the hairband on her hair, she looked like Xena, the Princess Warrior.
Oh my god, I love
a very glittery one, yes.
It was just a fringing, and like this, it's like she looks like Xena.
Like, okay.
It was the first thing I wrote down.
Strictly is already the queerest show on TV, but having a Xena number would be
that'd be
short
amazing.
Circuit. This was another one. This is one where I'm just going to have to recuse myself because I've got nothing to say. I really feel for Lauren, but her partner is doing my head in.
I think it was interesting that, I think it was Shirley that pointed out that she's struggling to flirt with AJ.
Yes, so would I.
Yeah, so would I. You can see that AJ is doing his best to be good male partner and get the flirt on, but she is not having it.
It's like Charlotte and Brendan last year.
Yes.
It's just like, it becomes a vacuum of flirt, or flirt is sucked into a black hole. It's
the anti-flirt.
But the thing is, AJ made the point in the Clauditorium of she's a sports person, she's not used to, showing her emotion, she's focused, she's like very in her head, but that's AJ's job to bring it out of her, and the fact he's acknowledging that, he should realise, I'm not doing my job properly yet, I need to figure this out, so I hope they have...
Why have we not had the horrendous VT where she goes for acting lessons yet?
Because Lauren will say no on the spot, and be pushed into the door kicking and screaming. We know this.
I mean, it's just like going to any other coach.
She does need an acting coach, I think. Wait, when was the last time we had an acting coach in Strictly? It's been a while since
Johnny Peacock not get an acting coach?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did. But yeah, she... I think she's back in ballroom next week, which would be good for her, because I think she enjoys the comfort of being in hold. I think she feels very exposed in Latin, because in the Charleston and the Cha-Cha, she's been very stiff and, I haven't quite got it, please don't look at me sort of thing. She looked great, though, even if she did look a bit like a crossover between Xena doing a disco number. I'm sorry, I can't get it.
That is a power look.
Disco Xena.
Disco Xena.
Disco Xena. Oh, imagine.
That's a thing that should exist.
Imagine.
If I didn't already have a Halloween costume already set out, I'd go to Disco Xena.
Quick change into it, it'd be fine.
I'm going as Death from Sandman.
You can rip that one off and have Disco Xena on.
You don't even... that's a robe, you'll be fine.
It's black jeans and a vest top.
Well, that's halfway to discussing them anyway.
Oh, you need a costume change halfway through. Anyway. Dancing the American Smooth and diplomatically ignoring Karen's wig, it's Charles Venn and his partner, Karen. That wasn't a good wig.
It was a really poor wig.
And his uniform looked a bit costume shoppy.
It was, oh, look whose mum does use new biological whiz, or biz, or whatever it is.
Biological whiz?
Sorry. It was like
the
Arnold Rimmer's
doorstep
one.
challenge.
I was having my breakfast this morning with my tweet deck open, monitoring the Strictly streams as if I was, like, in the Matrix. And the person who was constantly retweeting praise about themselves this morning was Charles Venn.
Really
Charles Venn
don't like
talks
him.
about himself in the third person.
He also keeps saying that
Which
how much
puts
he
me
has
up.
to give.
Yeah, he said it again tonight when he got called into the dance off. I'm just like, give over, mate. I'm with you. I don't like him. I do not like this pairing at all.
I like an affirmation as much as the next person, but the key is you don't say them on camera.
Yeah, you say them before the camera, not on camera.
And stop talking about yourself in the third person.
Yeah.
Charles Venn says this, or does he?
It's alright. Like, I think they could have given it a bit more welly. Like,
Yeah, it was just meh from start to finish, and extra point, which I found very bizarre, giving Karen an officer and a gentleman after her very public breakup from the pro who is still there.
Yeah.
Did anyone else think that was a bit odd / weird?
well, I thought Charles and Karen were going to be this year's really inappropriate showmans.
Oh, I still think it's there. Well, maybe not, but
It's not going to be here long enough.
No, as it proved, because I said last night, I tweeted out saying Lee's in the dance-off and it's Lauren or Charles with him. I voted for Lauren because I did not want her in the dance-off, and I got it spot on that he was in there instead, because who's going to vote for him? Like, who's going to vote for to be brutally honest, self-absorbed, self-hyped, bland dancer?
I mean, I obviously had to watch Strictly when I got home from camp to catch up so I could watch the results show. I mean, I watched it, and then I watched the results show, and it just slid out of my mind in that about 10 minutes in between. It's gone.
There was a nice slithery lift at the end, but that was about it. Like,
That's probably when it slithered out of my brain.
it's Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong. It's an officer and a gentleman. It is your license to go full cheese. And it was way too tasteful.
It was my license to go and make a cup of tea.
It was just boring.
Hey,
I couldn't
at least
tell you anything.
At least they kept the bond until Sunday night this year.
Yes. Yeah.
And do you know what? What I think is interesting is no one pointed out the fact that his jacket had come open, whereas everyone else, the minute like some costume slid out of line, everyone was sorting them out. So maybe he's made himself not particularly popular amongst the cast.
Couldn't possibly comment. Anyway, next. Dancing the quick step and telling Chacha Di Gregorio where to get off. It's Faye Toza and her partner Giovanni.
Well, this was fun.
Yes.
And
I like
I know
Faye.
you said the trousers were controversial, Elle, but I think they showed exactly how fast and complicated a quick step is, because normally they've got a long dress on for a quick step, and her legs were going like they're clappers.
It was so fast it made me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Well,
I
like her
really
legs
liked
couldn't do that.
The sinking.
Yeah. Elliot, was this good or was it just fast?
It was a bit of both. From the waist down was very good because her feet were going a mile a minute, and there was a lot of it's like kicks and like hopping and then split step and moving in, which is very hard to do, especially when you're a novice. Her top half though, oh my god, that was a mess. Her arm was out of his. Her hand was limp. it wasn't worth 4 nines.
So she basically couldn't have been receiving his leads then?
No, I mean, I think through the bottom half, yes, but through the top half, no. I think Gio was leading. I just don't think she was responding in the correct way, because I think she was worrying so much about the feet to keep up with that, because that's what everyone was going to be looking. She didn't think about her top half, which...
So the point I'm trying to make about the lead is the routine was memorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that. Again, it felt like a show dance, and I don't like Giovanni with a quiff, even though I know that is very in Greece, and that was just, stuck on his head with no choice. But Giovanni should never have a quiff again, because he looks
it was
ridiculous.
It was terrible.
It was lovely to see Neil and Johannes get some time on the floor, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't normally bring out the spare pros this early, so that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I feel like that was a bit...
It's only Blackpool week.
They didn't get pyro. Like, Charles and somebody else got pyro, but Faye got spare pros. Little gimmicks. I'm not so worried about Faye anymore. The first couple of weeks I was worried we were going to absolutely forget about her, especially after we did absolutely forget about her. But I'm not so worried anymore. She seems to be having a nice time, although she's got rumba next week, and that could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. She line dances. There's a hip. There's hips in that.
The thing I want to throw to you guys is that I was at my dance centre earlier, and obviously we're talking about Strictly, as we do. We're talking about who we like and who we don't like. And people in my dance school are putting Faye above Ashley because Ashley has danced before and Faye hasn't. Being in steps, Faye's had some... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She's been in steps. She has musical rhythm already. She's on the same par as Ashley Roberts. Yes, she's done burlesque dancing, Ashley, but Faye still knows musicality, right? And therefore has a slight advantage, if not is on the same par as Ashley.
So anybody who's learned to dance before has an advantage over people who haven't learned to dance before because they have learned how to learn to dance. And the skill of going in and sort of making that part of your memory physical, that is an important learning skill. And it's something that both Ashley and Faye and Danny are already several steps ahead of the others on.
Yeah.
And they know how to perform already because they performed on stage. So again, like, I just thought that was a really bizarre comment they threw out there. So I wanted to say, yeah, it was, it's proving us wrong because we said she was going to struggle. I don't think Giovanni's actually ever had a bad partner, trying to think about it. Well done, Faye. I think she's going to be in the final now.
The thing is, though, her success feels quite smooth. There's no grit in the oyster.
So, very much
I like her, so I'm quite happy for that, though.
Yeah, she's nice and smiley, and I'm okay for that.
Yeah. And I will also say, as someone who spent their teenage years at sci-fi conventions and has done a lot of convention dancing, line dancing is quite hard. If you've not done it before, it's difficult. You've got to keep and synchronize with everyone else, otherwise the whole effect is ruined.
Yeah, synchronization. We've not sorted the last two. In fact, so AJ is a Slytherin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, actually, AJ is just a muggle.
He's a squib.
Ooh.
Who is he?
I think he's a squib.
The shade of it all. Karen.
Oh.
Slytherin.
Slytherin.
I'm not sure.
No, I think Karen knows what she wants, and she's willing to do what she has to do to get it.
Yeah, I mean, she married Kevin.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but yeah.
I know. I was just being bitchy.
Yeah,
in a manner that will get out.
She's very.
Yes, thanks, Al.
She's very
assertive.
She's very Karen focused.
I love it.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Welcome to Keep Shading.
Saucer of milk for table number 2, please.
Giovanni, is he a Hufflepuff or a Gryffindor?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. I mean, he's no respect to his nationality, but Italians are very proud and a very noble nationality. Like we've seen with Glaciano, but you can go one of two ways with that nobility. You can be the villain or you can be the hero. And Giovanni has never been a villainous person.
I'm going to say that Ravenclaws... No, sorry, I'm going to say that Gryffindors are more likely to dance with their tops off than Hufflepuffs.
Yes.
It's just science.
And there's no way that him and Debbie gelled so well last year and are now uncannily married if he was a Slytherin. I think that's another point as well we need to make.
Debbie's a magic user. She's a very powerful witch, so there's no way she would have, fallen for dark arts.
Got into bed with her dark arts, yeah.
Oh, there's an image I didn't need.
Right, back to what we laughingly call reality. Dancing the Paso Doble. And where's the unicycle? I was promised a unicycle. It's Danny John Jules and his partner, Amy.
Thank you. That is the first line of my notes. Where is the unicycle?
He
promised a unicycle.
I can only assume that the unicycle looked really stupid on the platform.
Or he fell off.
Or the risk assessment. He took one look at it and went, no.
The true enemy of Movie Week is health and safety.
The man with the clipboard in the corner.
Ellie, do you want to say your thing about P.T. Barnum?
Oh, yeah. So, P.T. Barnum is a man whose reputation does not deserve the rehabilitation that of a Hugh
Jackman musical.
Yeah, of a Hugh Jackman musical. Hugh Jackman musicals should happen to people for whom I can say a good word.
Yes.
P.T. Barnum was an exploitative little swine, wasn't he?
Exploitative, ableist, racist and misogynist even for his time.
Yes.
A thoroughly nasty piece of work. And
Stuff You Missed in History Class has a really good podcast about him in their archive.
And so we'll link to that in the show notes. And if you want to fight me, come and fight me in the comments.
Come at me, bro.
Back to the dancing.
Yeah.
Back to reality, because we've gone off our little wormholes. We found so many wormholes and tangents tonight. I'm quite impressed.
I think it's because we don't actually like New Movie Week very much.
Yeah, Movie Week is always very good for tangents. But yeah, so this Paso Doble, I was really surprised that Danny's Spanish line wasn't as good as Sean's.
I know.
This seemed... I don't want to say over... It felt like he was trying too hard to be perfect. So he was too stiff and still too jerky, like in the Cha-Cha. He needs to find that balance of relaxed, cool Danny John Jules we saw in week 1 and the serious, I want to get this right, because he's one or the other. There is no middle ground at the minute, and that will be his downfall in the long run. And secondly, was that just Joanne's wig from when she played Charlie in the Chocolate Factory? I swear it is.
There is only one pink wig.
It has to be.
Between the extreme focus and the constantly eating colour-coded main courses, Danny is at risk of coming over as a bit weird.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he was given a good song or film. I think he got stitched up the most this week. That song, listening to it then, did not work as a Paso Doble at all. And I think Amy probably listened to it and went, what the hell am I going to do with this music? Because that's not a paso. The song itself, The Greatest Show, isn't a serious, dramatic paso piece of music, or lyrically. So why the producers thought, let's use this, I don't get. They could have used This Is Me instead, but as a samba for Danny John Jules instead, and that way his character could have come out. I think he just got stitched up a bit in this dance, personally, by things that weren't in his control. But he did a good job with what he had.
With the public popularity of The Greatest Showman and him
Yes.
going on at the end, you would think that he'd not been stitched up. It's a very weird stealth stitch-up situation.
I think that's how they covered their backs. That's how they covered themselves, because I heard the music and I was like, this is not working as a paso rhythmically at all. And in the end, I just tuned it out and just watched them. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And Danny is just falling into that middle ground where he's not improving, but he's not shocking. He's becoming a little bit forgettable.
Which is sad.
Yeah. because he's great. Yeah. His personality's amazing, but he should be back in Ballroom next week, and Ballroom, I think, is where he shines. So, yay!
Yeah, I can't wait. I also can't wait for week 4, where we won't have any unnecessarily shoehorned into dancers' songs. Oh, no, wait. It's going to be like that all the way to Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, I still like Danny and Amy. I still think they've got a few more weeks left in them. I want them to get to Halloween at least, because I'm just intrigued to see what they would do as a couple for Halloween.
Dwayne Dibley.
Like, this is where, like, we've got, 3 weeks until Halloween week now. I'm just, like, sort of, like, imagining what everyone will do. And Amy's got this such happy, bubbly personality. I can only imagine she's going to be a witch. An evil witch.
No. Like,
I can't.
Like, Amy's thing, we've been wondering what Amy's thing is. And it's actually that she is a deeply sick horror fan. She likes the really nasty stuff.
Yeah, as we said last week, being Welsh is not a thing, so she can't use that. Oh, but she could bring the dragon out again. We could get the dragon out again. Just paint it red. There we go. There's the Welsh type.
I think it's got to be Dwayne Dibley and Amy as a rogue simulant.
I would be just in heaven.
That would be amazing. I would love it.
I feel like as a northern sci-fi fan, I've had too much already this evening. That would be too much.
The new Doctor. She's amazing. And also nice cameo role.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, right. There's a nice cameo role from a piece of architecture. Okay, what house is Amy in anyway?
Hufflepuff. She wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, she might. We don't know. I think it's the fact that she's a mystery.
Sliddlepuff, then.
We've seen a lot of stuff. I still don't know what to make of it all. My head is spinning.
Dear Lord, have we seen a lot of stuff?
Good grief, I have seen some things this weekend.
You can normally categorise everyone like, right, these are the front runners, these are the middle ground, these are like the laggers, and these are the ones that are going home within the next 5 minutes. Last week, we kind of were getting that sort of feeling, because the first and second week kind of followed each other quite well. This week, it's all flipped on its head, and being brutally honest, that top 5/6 last night, I could easily see being the top 5 or 6. The only problem is Joe and Diane weren't in there, and who in that top 6 from last night won't be in there to make room for Joe and Diane. I think it would be Graham. Otherwise, I can easily see it being Kate, Stacey, Ashley, Faye, Joe, and who was the other one? I've forgotten.
Are you talking about last night's top 6?
Yes, because I looked at it and that seemed very believable as a top 6 bar great.
Sean, you're kidding me. You are kidding me.
Sean wasn't that high, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, he was.
Yes.
He did a remarkable dance.
Well, we'll see how the next week pans out, and revisit that prediction with a bit more experience under our belts.
Yes.
And public votes.
Oh God!
I am looking forward to seeing Kate Silverton do a samba. I'm interested to see how she's going to make that fabulous and
rude.
Yeah, because that's worked for her for the last 2 weeks, being scandalous. So I can't wait for her to do that again.
If all else fails, make it rude.
And we know what she's dancing to, don't we? With the hints that she was dropping, it's Africa, and it's one of her favourite songs. She's dancing to Africa by Toto, isn't she?
Oh my God!
That is a samba, and she mentioned about doing a lot of work in Africa, and it's one of her favourite songs. It's got to be Africa. It's got to be, because it's a samba. And I love it. I really hope it is, because I will be singing along the entire way.
I hate that song.
There is... Well... Yes, as an actual person from Africa, you're very entitled
from Africa,
to it.
I mean, I'm a white person from Africa, but...
Yes, Toto, Africa's not a country.
Yeah, it hits many of the my issues with the whole Africa as a country concept.
Start drafting your thoughts now.
Yes,
yeah,
I'll take
my life.
I'll take 1,500 word think pieces from both of you for next week.
Also, just quickly.
But I'm interested to see her samba.
Yeah.
I just might have to stick my fingers in my ears for that song.
It's all right, Meg. You won't recognise it as Africa by the time
Once it's gone through the Strictly singers.
Yeah, but Butcher Wheel.
Once Dave Archer's got his hands on it.
And talking about weird dances, the results show opening piece, again, that was bizarre. We had another Imagine Dragons song. I mean, the Imagine Dragons are great, but we need more music.
They've become like a way to suggest that they're edgy and modern.
Yeah, and
Were
Giovanni's
they
Gene
wearing the
Kelly.
same trousers?
Sorry?
I feel like they were wearing, during one of the pro dances, they were wearing the same trousers as they wore for the last Imagine Dragons song.
Maybe.
I wasn't paying attention. With the red stripe down the side.
Oh, maybe.
I was too busy, questioning this whole Giovanni jumps through the TV and then jumps back out into the cinema thing they were doing, which was really bizarre.
It's the magic of cinema, Elliot. You just meant to go with it.
Okay.
And they did give us Wet Giovanni.
After everything we've seen this weekend, Giovanni doing what Chesney Hawkes does in the I Am the One and Only video is nothing.
So basically, I should stop thinking so hard, just let the dance happen.
Yes, that's how you enjoy Strictly.
It says a lot. It says a lot that all I could think of was the Alien Ant Farm movies video.
Oh my god, yes. That's the one I was thinking of.
Voyage to the bottom of the noughties.
My brother had that haircut at one point with the line. It's going to kill me for saying that on the internet.
Right, we have one more beautiful piece of admin to do before we scurry off into the night to visit our local cinemas. Frock of the week. Meg.
Oh, I think Katie's.
Okay. Elliot.
Oh, I've got 3. I'm gonna go with OT's.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty special. Emily.
Yes.
I really liked what Vic was wearing, but my frock of the week for effect is going to be Kate's Jessica Rabbit frock.
So I want there to be a definite winner, and I'm going to give a special mention to Katya's totally we believe you Matrix frock. But I am going to go for Kate's Jessica Rabbit frock, which was a stunning interpretation of an iconic movie garment.
Well done.
Worn by a cartoon character.
She did look amazing. I just thought everyone was going to vote for Kate, so I did a tactical second vote, because I thought, we need some diversity in Frock of the Week this week. Maybe, as we all had different votes, we should do a Twitter poll and see who the fans like most. Even though I think we know who is going to win, but I would like to see what people think.
Elliot, that's quite a lot of admin, but I will do it.
Yay!
So as an aside,
yes,
right? You know, on the telly when they make people's legs really shiny, is that just baby oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It must be.
Okay. It must
or just highlighter.
I cannot understand how they make legs that shiny. People's legs don't shine like that naturally.
Okay. Right. What you do is you exfoliate, right?
Yeah.
And then you've had a wax.
And a fake tan.
And a fake tan. And then you hit the dry body oil. This is a very weird way to end the podcast, Emily, with beauty.
Sorry.
It's the new section. The Strictly Beauty Tips.
There'll be complaints. So, with that, I think I will wish you all a good night. Good night, Elliot.
Night, night.
Night, night, Meg.
Good night.
Night, Emily.
Night.
And good night from me, Ellie. This has been the Keep Dancing podcast with occasional interjections from Keep Shading. Keep dancing.